Good evening, I'm Jose Cardenas. The Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce honors the achievements of business and community leaders statewide. We'll hear from some of the award recipients. There's a national campaign calling on lawmakers to vote on comprehensive immigration reform. We'll talk to one of the people involved in the Fast for Families. And Catholic leaders celebrate Mass along the border and pray for immigration reform. All this coming up next on Horizonte.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station.
Thank you for joining us. The Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce's 56th Annual Black and White Ball and Business Awards are honoring 6 of the state's top business and community leaders in May. The recipients are Congressman Ed Pastor, who will receive the Advocacy Award. Bill Post, retired chairman of the board and CEO of Pinnacle West, will be receiving the Legacy Award. Entrepreneur of the Year Award goes to Clarence McAllister, and Woman of the Year Award goes to Annette Musa, Arizona Market President for Comerica Bank. Joining me tonight are the last 2 recipients, Paul Luna, President and CEO of the Helios Education Foundation. Paul is receiving the Man of the Year Award, and Rick DeGraw, Vice President for Copper Point Mutual Insurance. The company has been named Corporation of the Year. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Horizonte, and congratulations to both of you. I want to talk about what the Chamber does, your involvement in the Chamber, and what the award means to the 2 of you. But before we do that, a little bit of background so people understand why the Chamber would choose to honor Copper Point and you, Paul Luna. You've been involved in the community for years and years and years, going back to your days with United Way.
Yes, and first I would say it's an honor to be recognized by the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, especially given the other award recipients, Congressman Pastor, Bill Post, all who have been so involved in the community for so many years, Copper Point, who is such a fabulous corporation. The Hispanic Chamber has been a critical organization in our community for so many years. And not just the Latino or Hispanic community, but the overall general community as an economic development driving organization, but focusing on Latino community development. And I've had a pleasure in a number of occasions to have an opportunity to be involved. My wife, Hema, was very involved in the Chamber for many years. And I think what we're able to do now, and maybe what part of the recognition is now that the Chamber is really starting to focus on education issues as well. Our foundation has had an opportunity to partner. Helios yeah. Education Foundation has had an opportunity to partner with the Chamber on a number of meaningful activities, including trying to create a focus on all Latino kids in Arizona having the opportunity to have access to a quality education, to be successful in achieving some type of degree beyond high school, which we know is so important to the future of the state of Arizona.
So Paul, you started out, actually you'd had a successful career in business before this, but you started out as president of the United Way. What was your sense then in that capacity of the importance of the Chamber? And is it different now where you talk about their emphasis on education? Is that something new?
I think it is due. I think the role, what I've seen in the Chamber, I've had the good fortune of being in this community since 1985. I'm a proud Arizona native. So I was born in Miami, Arizona, as was Congressman Ed Pastor. So you have 2 Miami Vandals getting recognized. I have to acknowledge that from my hometown.
From the way you pronounce it.
Absolutely.
Miami.
That's how you say it when you're from where we are from. But I came back to Arizona after college and have been in this community for many years, and have had an opportunity to be involved in a number of different community organizations and activities. And I think what the role of the Chamber has evolved over those years as well. And as we see the Chamber today, it is far more engaged and dynamic in all aspects of the community. One of, I think, the important aspects of the Chamber's growth was when it started to focus on what they call the Datos report, where it started to provide factual data and information to the community, to the corporations, to others, about essentially the power base that the Latino community represents, and to provide it with hard data so that we could understand the full financial impact of the Latino community, the buying power of the Latino community. And I think that was a step of the evolution that the Chamber has taken and is now into a very comprehensive approach of how it is bringing the community together in a very meaningful way. And as I mentioned before, and now the focus on education, partnering with the community college system, partnering with the university systems, ensuring that Latino students have pathways. And clearly the Chamber can't do that on its own, so it partners with education foundations like ours, the Arizona Community Foundation, and others, so that we can start to provide, quite frankly, a louder voice to the entire state of Arizona to help ensure that we all understand that the future of Arizona, the future workforce of Arizona is going to be defined by Latino kids who are the majority of the students in the K-12 pipeline. And if we want to have the type of vibrant economy in Arizona in the future that we want to see, we need to make sure that Latino students in particular are educated. There is an achievement gap. There is a degree attainment gap. And I know our foundation is very committed to ensuring that we, Arizona, begin to do something about addressing those issues.
Rick, you've been in the community, a leader of the community for even longer than Paul has. I want your perspective on the Chamber and the issues that it deals with. But before that, Copper Point Mutual, it's been around a long time too, but the name changed recently. What does that mean?
Well, first of all, we've been around for 88 years. And we were the State Comp Fund. We changed our name to SCF Arizona in 2006. And then as we privatized, we left any attachment to state government. We haven't taken any state dollars since 1933, by the way. But we left the state. We are now a fully private, we're the largest mutual insurance company in the state of Arizona. And we are now able to compete openly with other insurance companies and expand into other states and other lines of business. For us, our customers saw really no change, but as a business, we now operate fully as a private entity. And we're a small company in terms of people. We have less than 400 employees, but it's a company that is committed to the community. I'm lucky to have a board that believes things like the Arizona Chamber, the Arizona Hispanic Chamber, and Helios and others, the community colleges, are places that we should put our money. We believe that our future depends on the economic growth, and we don't separate education from economic growth. We believe that what we do to kids in elementary school and high school determines what happens with our company 10, 15, and 20 years from now. We're a small business company. We represent 24,000 businesses in Arizona. More than 90% of them are small businesses.
And a huge number of those are minority-owned businesses, Latino-owned businesses.
At least a quarter, maybe as much as a third. It's a growing community. It's a community that is very entrepreneurial. It's a community that works hard. And we believe that small businesses become larger businesses. Our board is committed to supporting the communities we serve. And we do that in a variety of ways. We love what the Hispanic Chamber is now doing.
And why is the Hispanic Chamber important to you? Obviously, it serves Latino community, Latino businesses, but yours is just one of a number of major corporations that are actively involved. Why is that?
Well, the Hispanic Chamber has taken a variety of paths over the years. It's always been important for bringing people together, but we got actively involved with Datos. We started sending people to see it. We started supporting the production because numbers tell you what's really happening.
That's the Chamber's annual report on business in the state of Arizona and how companies can get engaged.
And not only business, it's an annual report on families. How much money there is coming out of Hispanic families. How many kids are starting businesses? How many kids are going on to college? We see that as the health of our state in the future. And again, our board's commitment is that we will be committed to the communities we serve. And in Arizona, you must serve the Hispanic community. This is what we will be in the future. Paul mentioned the majority of K-12 students are of Hispanic origin. 20 years from now, that's what our state will be. We are a healthy company. We want to remain a healthy company, and we see that as our future.
Paul, I failed miserably last time to get you to talk about yourself, so let me put a more general question. Why is it important that the Chamber honor people like you, like Bill Post and others? This has become the premier event in the Hispanic community. Well over 1,000 people attend it every year. a fun event too. Noche de Garibaldi is the theme this year, Paternoster Mariachi. But why is it important to do all this celebration and to honor people such as yourself?
I think what the recognition of individuals really means is not so much, quite frankly, the individual, ourselves. The Man of the Year. It's a great honor. It's a great title. I try to utilize it with my wife. She doesn't buy it. But what I think it really represents.
You still have to take out the garbage.
I still have to take out the garbage.
Got it.
But what I think it represents from a community is acknowledgement that Latinos are contributing in leadership roles throughout the community. But when we talk about the success of the community from a Latino perspective, it's not solely from Latino perspective. So you have corporations, you have individuals, regardless of what their ethnic background might be, contributing in meaningful ways to support the Latino community.
To support the success
to support
of the
the
community.
success of the
And
community at large.
that's very important.
Yeah.
And again, congratulations to both of you. I'm sorry to say we're out of time, but you've got a big night ahead of you, and a lot of people are going to be there honoring you. It's well deserved for both.
We're going to be there honoring him as well because of what he's done over the last decades. Just amazing. For a young man, and I say that with all respect, he's just done amazing things for our community, and he keeps doing it.
Yes, well, I couldn't agree more. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Fast for Families national campaign calls on lawmakers to vote on comprehensive immigration reform. We'll talk about the campaign in a moment, but first, here's a clip from supporters of the movement in Washington, D.C. last week.
And I'm very proud to be a dreamer. But I don't think we're just dreamers. I think we're dream fighters. Because we fight for a future, we fight for education, we fight for our parents to have a better life. So help me God, I will stand here and keep on fighting till my parents have a better life so they live free of fear. So there's no more tears in children. And I know we will win, and I know we will soon. Si se puede. 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 Si se puede.
Joining me now to talk about the campaign is Cristian Avila, state lead for Mi Familia Vota Arizona. Cristian, thank you for joining us on Horizonte. One of the things you said in the video that we just showed, and you've said it a number of times on the stops that you made in this campaign, is you're not just a dreamer. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think we...
You said you're a fighter for everybody who's impacted by the immigration issues.
Yeah, what a lot of people call us dreamers because that's the term that's used for children that came here when they were younger, and the parents they brought us here. But the reason why I say we're not just dreamers is because we don't just dream of a better future. We don't just dream of a better education. We're standing and fighting for education for our parents, and for just have the American dream.
Now let's talk about one of the efforts that you've been leading in this Fast for Families. Just ended about a week ago. Tell us how it got started and what do you think you achieved?
Well, the Fast for Families was it started in November of last year. It was an effort to call on Congress to give us a vote on immigration reform, and
that was at a point in time when it looked like nothing was going to happen.
Right. It was November when a lot of community's hope was down. Where Congress looked like it wasn't going to do anything about it. So Eliseo Medina, a great leader for many years, as someone that fought with Cesar Chavez for the farm workers, really speared this Fast for Families campaign and decided to fast. We ended up fasting for 22 days. After the end of those 22 days, we didn't get Congress to call a vote, but we accomplished something much greater than that, which was to re-inspire other people across America to keep on fighting for the movement, fighting for the freedom of their families. And also the American people came out saying that immigration reform with the pathway citizenship is what they wanted. Over the study after study, poll after poll, over 70% of the American people wanted immigration reform done.
And when we spoke off camera a little while ago, you said that you got letters of support from all over the world.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's when I started the fast, I didn't know what to expect. It was at a point that I just wanted to do something that we haven't done before. We had done a lot of marches, a lot of rallies, meeting with Congress, but it didn't take us anywhere. But after the fast, we got so much attention and support from not only the U.S. but also countries from Mexico, Argentina, South Africa, and many others, just sending their letters and in support of what we were doing and in solidarity with us as well.
Now, Mi Familia Vota has several areas of focus. You're the state lead. Talk about those 3 areas that you are working on.
Well, Mi Familia Vota has been around for, I think, since 2004 here in the Valley. We're now the national level over 6 different states in the United States. But our main purpose is civic engagement, is just to register people to vote, educate our Latino community on what's the process and what's the importance of casting a vote, and also help people become citizens when they're residents. The reason why we want them to become citizens is because when they're citizens, they have the right to vote, and a lot of these people don't know why they should become citizens, or they don't know the process, or maybe they don't even have the means to hire a lawyer to do the paper filing. But we host different forums, educational forums on the process, and also the workshops to actually fill out the N400 that's needed. And then our last branches, which dove into the immigration reform fight since last year.
And on that topic, you had some meetings just last week with the Vice President of the United States. What did he tell you?
Well, it was a meeting with the Vice President Cecilia Munoz, and they reassured us that the administration was still fully committed to do something about immigration. They're still trying to figure out all the resources they can use to pressure the House into giving us a vote. But most importantly, it was a time where we took the stories of the families that we heard over the tour, and let them know how many people.
I understand that you were given a couple of time periods when they think there might be an opportunity for immigration reform to actually get a vote.
Yeah, we spoke when we landed in D.C. When we ended the tour. We spoke to Nancy Pelosi. We spoke to Senator Reid, and what they told us is that the window of opportunities that they see is sometime between June or July, or maybe after the elections and lame duck season.
So things are looking a little bit better than they were last November when the Speaker said immigration reform was dead.
Well, yeah, it's looking a lot better. A lot of people are still fully energized to keep on fighting for immigration reform, still pressuring the congressmen. Unfortunately, we asked for a meeting with Speaker Boehner to have a conversation on how to fix this issue, because once we have a conversation leads to a solution, and to an understanding, and that eventually leads to a solution. That's what we wanted to do. Unfortunately, we haven't had the chance to meet with Speaker Boehner, but we're still trying to meet with some kind of leadership, either Cantor or McCarthy, to see how we can help each other and how we can find a middle ground to stop all the suffering on our families and to fix this broken system.
Christian, we've only got a couple of minutes left. I want to talk about some of your very personal sacrifices that you made in this regard, and some of the recognition you've received. You yourself went on a fast about a year ago. Lasted, 22 days? Mm-hmm. Why'd you do that?
Well, like we said earlier, was at a point when immigration reform wasn't going anywhere. And it was my way of saying that I did everything I could personally to have immigration reform. It was the only way that I could look into my parents' eyes and tell them that I did everything I could to make sure they lived free of fear. And to all the people that our community is really looking up to us to get something done.
And do you think it actually had an impact?
Oh, it definitely had a huge impact. Like I told you earlier, it sparked another inspiring and the hope that was lost through the process of the House not giving an action. And
we know one consequence was that you ended up getting invited to attend the State of the Union address. Tell us how that happened. Well, it was the day after Thanksgiving. The President and the First Lady decided to visit with us, most importantly to just listen to
why we were doing what we were doing while we were fasting. And to my surprise, it didn't really feel like the President of the United States was there or the First Lady was there. It felt like a mom and dad were there. They were moved by a lot of the stories, a lot of the people that were fasting in the tent, and they understood where we're coming from. And I think that's what led us to have someone.
And they extended the invitation.
They didn't extend the invitation then.
But it came later.
It came later, yes.
Well, it's a great story, and thank you so much for joining us on Horizonte to talk about that and the other important work that you're doing.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Earlier this month, hundreds attended a Catholic Mass at the International Border Fence in Nogales that honored the thousands who have died crossing the desert. AZPM producer Fernanda Echavarri reports Catholic leaders also called for immigration reform.
Catholic bishops from across the country prayed for the thousands of migrants who have died in their attempt to cross into the United States illegally.
We know that the border is lined with unmarked graves of thousands who have died alone and nameless. We are here today to say they are not forgotten. Sometimes they're called illegal aliens, an expression that makes them sound like Martians. But they are our neighbors. They are our brothers and sisters.
O'Malley says the event was not to propose a quick fix to a complex issue.
Immigration laws, to be just, have to protect human rights and human life and not undermine them. We acknowledge and we support the role of our government to enforce our laws. The rule of law must prevail. But our laws must change if they violate God-given rights and undermine the common good. We can no longer tolerate the human suffering caused by this broken system. Families are separated, migrant workers are exploited, and tragically, human beings are dying on both sides of this wall. The suffering and death must end.
Standing on the U.S. side of the border fence, bishops gave Holy Communion to men and women in Mexico through the fence.
We see the immigration question in our country not only as an economic issue, not only as a political issue, but most especially a moral and ethical issue, which is why the Church is engaged in this question.
We do, as a faith community, bring the humanity and this focus on loving our neighbors. And I think, for me, the really wonderful thing today is bringing, some really high-profile religious figures in America down here.
As chairman of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops Committee on Migration, I call today upon Congress to act this year on immigration reform.
The bishops want to highlight the many dangers that come with illegal immigration, such as human trafficking, drug trafficking, and migrant exploitation. Elizondo says a broken immigration system also affects people who were born in the United States, because each year about 100,000 U.S. citizen children have at least one parent deported.
We are hopeful that the President, Obama, Congress, and the American public will heed our call for reform. Support for immigration reform, already at record heights among the American public, will only grow. We stand ready to work with members on both sides of the aisle in the House of Representatives to find a solution to our broken system this year.
I felt very emotional as it was happening. We got to observe and listen to a really moving homily by Archbishop O'Malley, and it was just very touching in Spanish and in English, talking about the unifying factors between us all and how we're all neighbors.
Hoy el Evangelio comienza.
People on both sides of the international border participated in the Mass.
Half of our group on this side and half of our group is on the other side, having different experiences, and I just think it's great to have it right here so that we can, on both sides of the wall, experience the words that we've heard today, but it also feels so separating.
The Diocese of Tucson hosted a 2-day event where Catholic leaders from across the country traveled the desert, met with migrants in Mexico, and visited a shelter.
We had an opportunity to meet with the Border Patrol, and we're very grateful to Chief Manuel Padilla for his hospitality and helping us see some of their struggles, some of the challenges that they face, some of the dangers that are available and around them.
Pope Francis recently visited an island where African migrants die trying to reach Europe. The bishops want faith-based leaders across the country and eventually the Pope to get a sense of the struggles along this border.
I know from past experiences on trips like this that you feel so strongly in the moment, and then you go home and you get back into your routine and you forget what happens. And so I just hope that being here as a group of people, that we can carry each other along and trying to remember and trying to spread the word and the stories that we hear.
That's our show for tonight. From all of us here at 8 in Horizonte, I'm Jose Cardenas. Have a good evening.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station.